G'day, g'day, you beautiful bastards, and welcome to another edition of 2c3pod DTCR, which stands for...
Does the Cinema.
That is correct. My name is Mitchell, along with...
Dilbo.
And along with that catchy name to this segment has some catchy theme music as well, so why don't you whack that button and let's get into it.
Let's get into it.
Oh. Ooh.
Coming at you fresh, coming from afar, it's 2c3pod DTC.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. It's time for 2c3pod DTCR Does the Cinema.
That's right.
Now, this is the segment each week where we take the chance to go and see a film in theaters, and then we bring it right here to you live on the YouTubes for a special review.
That's right. It's been a while since we've actually got one of these because the recent cinema slate hasn't been all that crash hot. But
exactly.
We've had the absolute privilege to bring ourselves back to the big screen this week, last weekend. For actually a surprise treat. Now, we did review this in Trailer Park last week or the week before, so if you'd like to check out the archives on YouTube, check out our Trailer Park for the trailer for the film Boss Level.
That is correct. Now, before we get into it, one little favor, a little smidge of a favor, if you could, make sure to whack a like on this video, and if you feel so inclined, please subscribe. It helps us out a lot.
That's right.
Yes, Boss Level is the film that we got to see, as you can tell by the thumbnail and the title, so it's not really a surprise. But either way, yes, so Boss Level is a film that is a Hulu original, but of course here in Australia we don't have Hulu. So what do they do at the moment with the cinema slate being so dodgy because of the circumstances in the world? They bring it to cinema, and thank you for bringing it to cinema.
This is a film that definitely belongs on the big screen. Now, when I talked about this trailer in Trailer Park, I talked about how it kind of feels and seems like a B-rated film, and I take everything back. This film is bombastic, AAA action star power, and I thoroughly enjoyed this film straight out of the gate. It's a AAA plus from me. Frank Grillo is the kind of guy that we've talked about previously, where he's always playing the lead action man in B-rated films.
Yes, like, exactly. The straight to DVDs.
That's right, the straight to DVDs, as you will. But I think this really does show his strengths as a leading man in a what you would consider a AAA cinematic release, a theatrical title.
Yes.
Not only that, but the other characters in this film, the other actors, I should say, Mel Gibson, it just seems like he's having so much fun again.
Exactly. He's a 2c3pod. We have the hit list for the young and upcoming talent that we like to follow along with in the Hollywood world, but he's a 2c3pod Hall of Famer, in my opinion.
Absolutely.
Like he's one that's been around for so long and had that dip in popularity and that dip and was doing straight to DVD kind of stuff. But the last couple of things that we've seen him in, I'm sorry, we just need to pause for 1 second, but due to the current circumstances in the world, we've had some films come to theaters like this one that we wouldn't normally get if the world was just running normal.
That's right.
We have seen Mel Gibson 3 times in less than 12 months on the big screen. Force of Nature, Fat Man, fantastic. And then, of course, this one, Boss Level. It's just strange seeing Mel Gibson back prominently on our big screens locally here. Like, it's fantastic.
And I think this goes to show the strength of what some would consider, like back in the previous cinematic landscape, what people would consider direct-to-DVD or direct-to-streaming films, what the caliber that they can bring, with big screen adaptations. Like Mel Gibson obviously is no longer like a box office draw realistically, like he was during Mad Max and that kind of era.
That's exactly
But obviously he still brings his A game every time he's on screen, no matter what it is. Like he's always the best, like one of the best things about these movies, of course. Naomi Watts as well, who I also thought was kind of too big for this movie, but no, I take every thought that I initially had back. This film, as I mentioned, as a whole, is fantastic from start to finish. What is this movie? This movie is telling the story of a man who's essentially, he's emotionally distant from everybody in his life, and he's trying to rekindle his relationships with his ex-wife and his son, who doesn't realize
he doesn't know that that's his dad.
That's right.
Exactly.
So
because he's been absent because he was in the Delta Force, like off doing like CIA type fucking jungle shit or whatever.
That's right.
The whole thing with Naomi Watts and Frank Grillo is the fact that, like, you picked going to war and fighting and killing over raising our son together and being a family. So he's trying to like mend that. And then all of a sudden, the day after he last speaks to her, he wakes up and then he dies that day. And then he wakes up again and again and again and again, and it ends up being hundreds of times, basically living a Groundhog Day of the day that he gets fucking murdered.
That's right.
And is chased down by all of these different mercenaries. Now, these mercenaries, these assassins that are tracking him down, that's a fantastic ragamuffin group.
This film reminds me, and it feels like it's heavily inspired in some aspects of Quentin Tarantino films.
Oh, the gratuitous violence.
Well, not only that, but like the characterizations of these hitmen that are, like they try to kill him in all different kinds of crazy, unique ways. It's not just straight up, shooting him off, like sniping him from a distance. Like Mel Gibson's character says, find the craziest and weirdest people you can find to hunt this guy down.
Exactly, that's right. Yeah.
But yeah, it's the film, although it is a straight up, action film, there is, and with also a lot of comedy sprinkled throughout.
Yeah.
This film is also really strongly driven by heart.
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
And drama and emotion. And, say what you want about Frank Grillo as a lead actor, Tyler Gunn, he brings his A game. And I'm pretty sure, but I can't find it right now. I'm really trying to find it.
Yeah.
His son, who plays, like, the character, the actor who plays his son in the film, I believe that's his actual son.
I just found it. The son's name in the film is Joe, and it's played by Rio Grillo.
Rio Grillo.
Exactly,
That's right.
So that's actually his son. So that would have been a really awesome thing for him because, like as the story progresses, he gets to spend some actual quality time with this kid.
Well, the whole story, essentially, although it's a science fiction, violent, crazy, repeat yourself, live, die, repeat kind of story, fundamentally, the story is about him reconnecting with his long-lost son and making up for that lost time and then saving the world.
No, exactly. That's right. Because the world essentially is going to end because it's such a complex story, but it's really well told to the point where you're not confused.
It's almost like American Pickle. There's scientific jargon behind it, and they don't try too hard to explain it. No, you just accept it and it makes sense and go for it. Yeah.
Exactly, that's right. And as long as you're not overthinking it, then there's no problems with it. But the best part about this, like you touched on, there's actual real story behind this. This isn't just gratuitous violence. This isn't just Michael Bay level action.
No, not at all.
This has heart behind it. This has a story behind it. And honestly, when the film ended, I went, "Oh, really?" And then I was like, "No, that's good. That's
satisfied."
Good. It left you with an ending going, "Wait a minute, I'm not sure what." And then you kind of think about it, and you're like, "No, that's perfectly acceptable."
This end, that's what, like, watching this.
And it was very emotional as well, which is surprising for this type of film.
That's right. Like, my wife asked me, do you think there's going to be a second one? And I honestly don't think there will be a direct sequel to this film, but they ended the film in a way where, yes, if they wanted to build upon this, if it was successful enough, they could build a franchise out of this, kind of like John Wick, But in saying that, they've closed it off as well to the point where, that is a satisfying ending. If there is no more to this story, that's okay. I don't like it when some films try and leave a big ass, plot hole right at the end. So that way it makes you wanting more.
I need the questions answered.
For films that aren't good. Like, case in point, the recent Hitman film, Agent 47. Okay. It left it with a massive opening, like, what do they call it? Post-credit scene with a cliffhanger. And you're like, this dumb fucking movie's never getting a sequel.
Yeah.
So that's not going to wrap up at all. But this film, as I said, it's a great film. It's fun. It's violent. It's got a lot of heart, a lot of real relatable, emotional heart to the film. And it ends on a satisfying conclusion. And I think, everybody in this film related to either the actors or the creators of this film, it's a testament to filmmaking. I had an absolute blast with this.
Yeah.
Check out Boss Level at your local cinemas if you're lucky enough. If you're unfortunate, watch it on Hulu or whatever screen you can, but this film deserves to be seen on the big screen.
No, absolutely, and we are very fortunate that we got this on the big screen, so this is one of the few positives that we get out of Hulu not being available in Australia. We got to see American Pickle on the big screen, we got to see this one on the big screen now, and if you are in the US, you might have already seen it. If you haven't, if you've been umming and ahhing, definitely check it out if you don't mind a good action flick with a very solid big chunk of heart in there as well. So, Boss Level, it's a great film.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is another film as well that makes anybody, after they want to see it, go to the gym.
Oh my God, Frank Grillo, like you touched on in Trailer Park, dude's almost 60.
And he's like
56 and he is so fucking cut. I'd say, like 2% body fat?
Something ridiculous,
At most, dude's looking fantastic, done well, and we will see him shortly on the big screen very soon in the next month with Bruce Willis in Cosmic Sin.
Absolutely.
So I think I was on the fence about that one because Bruce Willis is a bit hit or miss nowadays.
Oh, dude, but Frank Grillo, I'm down.
Frank Grillo, after this, sign me the fuck up, sir.
Bravo to you. You've made it to our 2c3pod hit list, Frank Grillo.
Yeah. The eldest, most senior statesman of the hit list. Yeah, because you're on the rise, Frank Grillo. You've got a career ahead of you.
That's right. Anyway, this has been DTCR 2c3pod does the cinema. And we will see you next week, potentially, with another Trailer Park and DTCR, depending what's out at the moment. But you can certainly find us over on 2c3pod live on Twitch.
That's right. We record our podcast live every week, and it's either a Tuesday or a Wednesday. Check our social medias, which you can find by searching 2c3pod. Simple as that. But not only that, if you can't make the podcast live, make sure to check it out on your favorite podcast platform. We're available on all podcast platforms Search 2c3pod and you will find us. But we have a cliche slogan:
Podbean, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and of course YouTube. Big summer blowout. Thank you for watching this video. Find us live when we go live. My name is Dylan, and as always with my co-host
Mitchell. And do not forget, we are Two's Company, and you are the podcast.